how to make a pump effect with a compressor. So this is a really nice question, and it's something that it can be a little bit tricky, but it's simple to do. And let's go ahead and put this at 1. Let's go with 124, and let's bring a kick. So I have some kicks here from the FPC, and this is some of the techno kicks that I got from a magazine. And you see why it's important to have to use some magazines. Let's use this one. This one looks nice, kick magenta, and let's do a very simple 4 to the floor kick. Okay. Let's actually use my, maybe let me reduce here the volume. Okay, let's do something like this with this one. Let's make this a little bit more rhythmic. Let me put maybe this one here. I like that. Okay, so now let's imagine that I want to sidechain this thing here with the kick. So the first thing that I have to do is bring the kick into the mixer, and let's call this kick, and let's call this bass, something like that. Let's say that I want to sidechain this bass based on the kick. So what I can do is select the kick here, and then go to this triangle here and right click and do sidechain to this track. And you see that it created a link here, but with no volume. And then we go here to the bass, and we can select a compressor here, or a limiter in this case. And we can go here to comp, and then we have this here called sidechain. And if I right click here, you can see that the kick information is here. So we have a copy of the kick going into the bass channel, but is not sending any actual volume. It's just ghost information. So what I can do here is do a very short attack. That's maybe 0.1 milliseconds. We can even go to 1 millisecond. And then we have to increase the ratio and then reduce the threshold. And you already see that we can see some of the ghost notes of the kick there. So now if I start reducing this, if I make it more aggressive, you start listening and actually see the compression here. And we can play around with the release. We can make some really fast release, but we have to be careful because you can get some distortion with if we have some short release. You see that sometimes we get some distortion, so we have to be careful with that, with short releases. But we can also have some long releases for a more pump effect. Okay, so that's basically it. It's very simple to do sidechain compression here to create this pump effect. And I would recommend to use fast attacks and long releases. And you can also use some sharp ratio, especially for above. Actually, I'm not showing FL Studio. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm just a one-guy show here, so I was not showing the FL Studio thing. I'm sorry. And let's recap what I did here. I'm extremely sorry about this. So what I did was I put the kick on the mixer, and then I also have here the bass. Then I have here the kick. I applied a line there, and you can see there's no volume going into the bass. And then here in the bass, I applied the fruity limiter with the compressor here. And then we can actually see the compression there. It happens when the kick happens. If I remove the kick, we don't see any compression at all. So the kick affects the compression because it's sidechaining the bass. So this is very important. And the thing that I was talking about here, we have to play with fast attacks, longer release. We can actually go like this. This would be a very extreme case, and we probably don't want that. We want the release to go a little bit to zero, or we want the compressor to release completely. But I would say something like that would be a good starting point. And then we can have a very strong ratio, or we can have also a softer ratio, but I would say from 4 above, 4 to, I think this goes to 20, but 3 to 4 would be a good starting point, and then we can play around with threshold. We could have a lot of compression with no volume going through, or we can have just a little bit. So it also depends on the entire track that you are producing, but yeah, that's how basically you do the pump effect with a compressor.